Today morning, one video was posted. The topic was time dilation from the chapter of Special Theory of Relativity. Topic was time dilation. Suddenly my camera was switched off. So the lecture was incomplete in that video. Okay. Still that video was posted in Facebook and YouTube channel. So this lecture or this class is just the continuation of the previous class. Okay. It is just the continuation. This is not a new topic. So I'll post this video as time dilation part 2, that way. That will be the title of the video, time dilation part 2. So in the previous class, what we have got? We have got one relationship between two times in two reference frames, two different reference frames. One reference frame was the observer who was sitting on the surface of Earth. With respect to Earth, that observer had no motion, had no relative motion. With respect to the surface of the Earth, that observer had no relative motion. And another observer, he was sitting inside the train compartment, and the train was moving with a velocity, with a uniform velocity. Mind it, with a uniform velocity. Means speed as well as direction of the train will remain same. It will not change. Means motion of the train is along a straight line. Direction is not changing. As well as the magnitude of the speed. That will also was fixed. And in that case, that train compartment or the entire train can be considered as an inertial frame of reference. As well as the observer who was sitting on the surface of the Earth, that observer also can be considered as an inertial frame. And I have already mentioned that in all the inertial frames which are moving relative to one another, in all the inertial frames, the laws of physics are same. Okay. And there is constancy of velocity of light. Velocity of light has the maximum speed, the value of which is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second, which is equal to 3 lakh kilometer per second or 0.3 million kilometer per second. So the train was moving with a speed of, with a velocity of v, and velocity of light was c. And for the observer who was sitting inside the train, for that observer the time was denoted by only t. And the observer sitting on the surface of the Earth who was observing the motion of the train, for that person time was denoted by t prime. And the relationship between t prime and t was like t prime is equal to t divided by root over of 1 minus b square by c square. Okay. And it can be concluded from here that the denominator, which is equal to root over of 1 minus b square by c square, is less than 1. It is always less than 1. If v is having some non-zero value. If v is 0, then t prime and t are same. The denominator becomes equal to 1 and t prime becomes equal to t. But when v is having some non-zero value, in that case, the denominator, which is equal to root over of 1 minus b square by c square, that is always less than 1. And in that case, t prime is always greater than t. T prime is always greater than t. Okay, so it depends upon the value of V. It depends upon the value of V. If V is large, then T prime will be larger than T. Means when V prime is large, not V prime, when V is large, T prime will be large. Means difference between T prime and T will be large if V is large. If V is small, then difference between T prime and T will be small. And when V is 0, there will be no difference in between T prime and T. So that was the conclusion we can get by analyzing that expression for T prime. Just by analyzing that expression. Okay. And this is not just the theory. Experimental verification has already been done by many scientists. The onboard satellites which move in the orbit around the Earth with a speed of almost 14,000 km per hour, 14000, 14,000 km per hour, with such great speed, these satellites orbit around the Earth. So per day, so what happens? So those are moving just like trains, okay, with respect to Earth. So there is time dilation. The earthbound clocks are slowed down with respect to the onboard satellites. Earthbound clocks are slowed down with respect to the onboard satellites. Onboard satellites means satellites orbiting around the Earth. Those are called onboard satellites. So it has been experimentally obtained that the time difference per day is equal to 7 microsecond. Micro means 10 to the power minus 6. 7 microsecond means 7 into 10 to the power minus 6 second. Okay. So per day, this is the time gap. The onboard clocks kept inside these satellites, those clocks run faster than the clocks on the surface of the Earth. So those clocks run faster. That means what? Time on Earth is slowed down with respect to those clocks. Okay, with respect to those clocks. Those clocks means clocks inside the satellites. For two reasons, time is slowed down. This is the reason. What reason? Relative velocity. Again, depending upon the gravitational field, means depending upon the mass of the star or mass of the sun, mass of the planet, okay, time changes. Time dilation effect is also there. If mass is large, then their time will be slowed down. That is actually the subject matter of general theory of relativity. That thing you will not get from special theory of relativity. Okay, that thing I will not discuss here in this class. Just for your information, I mentioned this thing. If mass is large, then time will be slowed down. Okay. So this is the end of the topic time dilation. Okay, this is the end of the topic time dilation. And later in next videos you will get that length contraction. I have already mentioned that length is not absolute. Length is not absolute means space is not absolute. Again, time is not absolute. Time is relative and space is also relative. Okay. And at the end of this chapter, you will get that famous formula of Einstein, which is called mass energy equivalence formula. E is equal to mc square. Energy is equal to mass into square of the velocity of light. Mass can be converted into energy. and vice versa. So that thing you will study in the at the end of this chapter, special theory of relativity. Okay. Again, I want to say the same thing. If you have any question, please ask me. Means you write in the comment box of YouTube channel, not in Facebook. Okay. Write in the comment box of YouTube channel. I'll try to answer to your questions. Okay. Thank you.